Is Mr. Piyush Goyal. Sir, appreciate you joining us on CNBC-TV18. The Prime Minister addressed the opening plenary session here, revived the confidence that investors have in the India story, continue to pitch the reform agenda. You've been speaking with investors here post the Prime Minister's address. What's the sense that you got about the key messages that they took away from that?
Well, I think there's a buzz about India at Davos this year. There's an excitement about the huge market opportunity. There's an excitement about the changing mindset of business in India. Nobody had ever imagined the kind of transformational initiatives that the government has been able to achieve in a short span of 3 years. Something like GST, which was 14 years in the making, happening so quickly and quite effectively, if you say, leave the first 3-4 months, which were in any case expected and were on the table right in front. The fact that corruption is gone in the country at the highest levels and people can with confidence come and invest in India is something that a lot of investors talk about. The scale at which projects are being executed in India and in almost every sector, be it in infrastructure, be it in developing services for the people, the railways, the road sector, the scale at which things are happening in India also provides good opportunity for investors because they are looking for a good amount of business when they come to a foreign country. So my own sense is that most people here had never imagined India evolving into this kind of an economic powerhouse, open for opportunities for business, opening its doors when the large parts of the world are actually closing doors. India is inviting and opening up for investments, for technology. We are not deterred by the globalization trends. We are actually embracing globalization. All of this has sent a very positive signal. There's a huge demand for our time during this Davos program. We are actually unable to interact with everybody, as many people who want to talk about India, want to discuss investment plans. So you're literally having meetings while walking across the Congress Center. It's a great, unique experience this time around.
Let me ask you, sir, since you spoke about the fact that foreign direct investment continues to be welcome in India and the government is making additional efforts to liberalize the sectors that were so far closed. In fact, just recently you have announced further liberalization. What about FDI and railways? The last big ticket FDI proposal for the railways was from GE. What can we expect in terms of FDI as part of your growth strategy for the railways?
Well, 100% foreign direct investment is permitted in the railways. Yesterday I had a meeting with Siemens, and Siemens overall has about a 9 billion euro business with the railways internationally, largely coming out of Vienna. And when I just drew up the 4 or 5 immediate plans that we have, the chief of Siemens had come with 4 ideas on the table. I offered him 8 other business opportunities. He's actually told me at the end of the meeting, this is more than what I can digest in one meeting. 2 weeks from now, I'm coming down to India to discuss how we can move from Vienna to India, large parts of our engagement in the railway sector.
What specifically will they be looking at, sir?
Well, they'll be looking at technology for detecting flaws in the railway tracks, which is a big cause for accident. They're seriously looking at electric locomotives because now we're going to go 100% electric. So they're very keen to invest in one more plant on electric locomotives. They're very keen on the electrification of 40,000 more kilometers, which is about 65,000 line kilometers. Huge opportunity opening up there. They're extremely interested in seeing what can be brought in terms of better signaling systems. So there were so many things on the table that he actually said 2 weeks from now, can we sit down and discuss all of these at length in India? And he said, coming from Vienna, I really can't be competitive. But with Asia opening up, Africa opening up, other countries looking at expanding their rail networks, I think he realized that being in India, making in India, serving the world from India is the way forward.
So one of the issues perhaps that investors will want clarity on, and this came up with a recent railway tender where you did get the exemption from the standing committee to go forward with a global tender. The procurement policy, which now says very clearly that there should be local domestic preference for local domestic manufacturing. How does that then reconcile with your message to foreign investors who are coming to make in India?
Well, in fact, it suits the foreign investors who are coming to make in India very much. Because when they come and make in India, they are a part of the Make in India initiative. And they get the same preference that any other company would get. But let me explain what the sense is behind that. It's more to do with reciprocity in the first instance, and more to do with bringing down investments and costs to provide service to the people of India, the second instance. By reciprocity, what I'm trying to suggest is that